All right, boys and girls, I'm going to read you today another mentor text that is realistic fiction. It's called Tia's Bad Day. I think it has all of the other things in the story that realistic fiction has. It's believable, it's real life, it's real characters, it's real feelings, a problem that could really happen, an ending that could really happen. The only thing that's a little different than our realistic fiction that we're writing is that it is written in third person. So that's when you are talking about the character instead of being the character. And we've really been trying to be the character in our realistic fiction. So that's the only difference. It was called Tia's Bad Day. Tia knew that it was going to be a bad day. First, she overslept. So she had to rush. She raced down the stairs. Jamal, Jaleesa, Brooke, and Luke were waiting for her. Sorry I'm late again, Tia said. That's okay, Jamal replied. We can still make it to school on time, but hurry, no dawdling. They ran all the way. Tia slid into her seat, then she heard a ding. Then she heard a ding. The late bell rang. Soon it was time for math class. Oh no, said Tia. She tapped her forehead. I was rushing this morning, Miss Parson. I left my work at home, but I didn't. I promised I did. I believe you, Tia, said Miss Parson. I'll let you turn it in tomorrow, but I have to record a 0 for today. Bring in the homework, then I'll erase the 0. Tia never got a 0 before, not even for a second. Now she knew that it was going to be a bad day. Another bad thing happened at lunchtime. Rats, Tia said. I forgot my lunch too. She knew she wouldn't go hungry. The cafeteria lady would give her a free sandwich. But the free sandwich was always peanut butter. Yuck. Peanut butter was gooey. It stuck to the roof of her mouth. Tia only managed to eat half of her sandwich. Then her tongue refused to touch any more of it. This has been a very bad day, she told the Oak Street kids that afternoon. They walked home from school together. Be glad that you can get the 0 erased, Brooke said. My teacher won't take late work at all. I like peanut butter, Luke said. He sighed. I wish I forgot my lunch. Back at the apartments, the kids opened their backpacks. The building manager, Miss Tilly, watched the kids after school. Miss Tilly had a rule. No playing until homework was done. Brooke worked on a book report. Luke corrected his math test. Jamal studied spelling. Jalissa did a worksheet. Everyone but Tia had homework. Tia got her football. She wanted to practice her forward pass. She couldn't throw a football to herself, so she sat in a chair. She waited for one of the other kids to finish. Sitting around was boring. Tia was glad when Jalissa put her worksheet away. Will you play football with me? Tia asked. Sorry, but no, Jalissa said. She pulled out 3 bottles of fingernail polish. I'm leading my class in the Pledge of Allegiance, so I'm going to paint my fingernails red, white, and blue. Tia slumped in her chair, which is a show not tell. You can tell how she's feeling by the way she slumped in her chair. What an awful day, she said to herself. I'm done, Luke called out. He banged his math book shut. Luke spent as little time as possible on homework. I'll play with you, Tia. Tia and Luke went outside. They went to the apartment courtyard. Tia knew they'd have to be careful with the football. Flower pots and wind chimes decorated the patios. One careless throw could mean broken glass or pottery. They had made 3 tosses when Luke said, I'm hungry, let's get a snack. No, said Tia, let's keep playing. But I'm starving, Luke protested. I want a peanut butter sandwich. He turned and started across the courtyard. This is the worst day ever, Tia shouted. Tia saw Brooke, Jamal, and Jalissa. They were coming out to play now. Tia was too mad to stop herself. She kicked the football angrily. Ponk! The ball jumped off her foot. It shot toward a hanging pot of red flowers. Crash! The pot shattered. Dirt and flowers flew everywhere. Broken pieces of pottery hit the ground and danced off in all directions. Luke turned around. Whoa, he said wide-eyed. Those are Mr. Morgan's flowers, Jamal said. Those were Mr. Morgan's flowers, Luke corrected. The 5 kids went over to look at the damage. The poor thing, said Jalissa. The limp blossoms made her sad. I can't tell Mr. Morgan, Tia wailed. He'll be very mad. You have to tell him, said Brooke. Don't worry, Jamal told Tia. We'll come with you. Tia knew that they were right. Let's get it over with, she said. Tia was shaking as she knocked on Mr. Morgan's door. The door opened. Tia said in a rush, I'm sorry, Mr. Morgan, but I broke one of your flower pots. Mr. Morgan stepped onto the patio. He looked at the mess and said, Boy, you sure did. But most of the flowers will be all right if I replant them quickly. I just need to make room in these other pots. May I help you? Tia said. She was still a little scared. Sure, said Mr. Morgan. We'll help too, Brooke decided. Jalissa and I will pick up the broken pieces. Jamal, you and Luke sweep up the dirt. They all went to work. I'm sorry that I destroyed your pot, Tia told Mr. Morgan. She handed him a flower. Soil was clinging to its roots. Mr. Morgan put the red flower next to a yellow one. That's a negative way of looking at it, he told Tia. Let's look at the positive side. No one was hurt, and you didn't break my window. I'll save my allowance, Tia told him. I'll buy you a new pot. Thank you for the offer, said Mr. Morgan, but I think the flowers look better this way. The pots are fuller. They are more colorful. 10 minutes ago, Tia was in a bad mood. Many bad things had happened that day. Now she felt good. The only thing that's different, she thought, is that now I'm thinking about good things. Mr. Morgan is being nice to me. My friends are helping me. I'm a lucky girl. At first, the replanted flowers sagged a little, but as Mr. Morgan watered them, they perked up. They turned their faces to the sun. You know what, Mr. Morgan, Tia said, I think this bad day is going to end up being pretty fantastic. And Tia learned how to be more positive. So Tia also changed as the main character from the beginning of the story to the end of the story. And was that a real problem? Was it a real solution to her problem? I definitely think so. And were her friends real characters? Could they be like us? 100%. So, just another mentor text to help guide you. And we will be back for more realistic fiction later.